from the such a data, I mentioned about the database. Database is, what is a database? Anyone who never heard about the database before?
Collection of data.
Collection of the data. Yes, it's a collection of the data. It's just a group of the data. If you have more data, that's much bigger than database. That's called kind of data warehousing layer. If we have the database, it's kind of collection of database. That's called the data warehouse. You can go to the warehouse if you want to buy the chip or the bulk, many of the items. So just like you are going to the warehouse, we can use the data warehouse. But we are not going to discuss about such a data warehousing. Instead, we will talk about such a database. Still, database need data structure. Okay? So for that database structure, there are a bunch of other ways. It's called the modeling. Sometimes we can use the network. It's a network-based database. Sometimes we can use the hierarchy, like the tree structure. It's called the H database, hierarchy database. But among them, we are going to use the relational database model. It's a name. Why don't you go to the department and get the new one for this? And so in this class, among a bunch of other database modeling, we will use relational database model. Okay, probably you heard about IDB or relational database or relational DB. That is this one. So is there any specific reason to use only relational database model in this class?
Most common.
Yes. It's most of the commercial DBMS nowadays use it's a relational database. If I'm teaching only the network database, which is not used almost nothing, probably you will kill me after graduation because you cannot get a job. Right? So that is the main reason. So still, relational database is the most popular database model. Then, this is kind of data structure and model. Then, we should have something software, right? To use such a data, and I have to, so I understand such a data and data structure, database, so I have this amount of data. So I'd like to keep this database using computer. What do we need? Software. That software is called DBMS, Database Management System. Is there any example of such a DBMS? Oracle. Anyone else? SQL Server. MS Access is not kind of the DBMS. SQL Server. SQL itself is not DBMS. SQL is the language. Okay? SQL is the language. What about the MySQL? Most of them are brand name. Sybase. What else? Probably more than 1,000 of them. Even several years ago, when the 350 and 550 were separated at the time in the classroom. So with the help of students, we actually implement the relational database management system in the classroom. Really, I will show you the demo later when I have the time. Okay, so these are the software. Okay, that software is based on relational model. So that's different. DBMS and database are different. So when you understand the relational database model and database, then you can use any of them. So some of the students complain why we are not going to focus on only Oracle because it's the most popular one. So I'd like to learn Oracle. No, I'm not going to teach Oracle software in this classroom. Instead, I'm going to use the Oracle software as a part of the tool to understand SQL language itself. Once you understand the algorithm or the database, such a data structure, you can definitely catch up easily. It's just a piece of cake. Very easy. So this course is not focusing on the only specific DBMS. Instead, we will focus on such a the database model and the data structure. Okay. However, for your practical practice in the exercise lab and for your lab, the first project, project A, we are going to use Oracle DBMS, which is already installed at UB server. Okay. I know some of you guys already use other DBMS, SQL Server, MySQL. So I try to install the MySQL on my laptop. So I try to implement the database system with my database. No, I'm not going to allow that. Okay. So you need to connect the UB. This is a UB server. Then from the computer at home or one of the computer in UB network, you need to connect this one and implement your database and connect it. Okay? I know sometimes you want to install your own DBMS. That's pretty much easy and straightforward. I sometimes enjoy my students are painful. So this is also another experience to connect the remote database. Okay? Not very difficult. So couple of times you fail, then pretty much you can do that. So is there any reason why I use the Oracle database? Am I the big fan of the Oracle database? No. The only reason is this is the most popular commercial DBMS in the market. I think around 40% the market share, 40% market share. Oracle database. Okay, that's the only reason. So, any question? So that is the database, and that is the DBMS system. Okay, so I don't have to explain again. Everybody understand what are they? Okay. So when we are saying the database system, so that has the something application program. So the common mistake, the misunderstanding is, am I teaching any program language in this class? No. So program language you should have learned in the program language class, like the Java, C++, or any kind of language. Okay. Then, in addition to such a program language, in this class we are going to focus on only SQL, structured query language, the database query language. And we will combine. That's called the database programming. We will learn why we need to use the two different languages. Okay? That's also because of data structure. But we will see later. So this is our database system environment. Then this kind of DBMS, database software, database management system, basically follow this data structure. We don't know what are they yet. We will learn throughout the semester. Then anyway, such a DBMS provides such a functionality. What kind of functionality do you expect for the DBMS? You can access the data. You can insert the data. You can create something. Right? You probably heard about the table, so you can create the table. If you do not know what table is, don't worry, we will learn throughout the semester. So you can create whatever that is, or delete, remove, and insert, manipulate. So you can do all this kind of thing. In addition to that, the DBMS provide the variety of the functionality, including backup and recovery, and the data export and import, and the transaction management, which means how many users can access the DBMS at the same time. Many users. Not only one user and many users. That caused the problem. For example, I'm updating his node, but he'd like to update his node same time. That's the problem, right? Who will be the first? So kind of lock management. So the DBMS provides such a transaction management. Also, this is another common mistake when user use the DBMS database system. Why, if I ask, why do you need to use the DBMS database system? Many of the users answer because it's fast. Frankly speaking, using DBMS, using database, is not that fast. It's even slower. Slower than, what is the opposite of the DBMS? If you are not using the DBMS, how can you manage the data? File system. Even that's general. Think about your laptop and my laptop. Is there anyone who used the DBMS to manage your data? Nobody. Nobody used the DBMS, right? So how can you store the data? Using file. You can open your notepad, you can open the PPT file or the PDF file. It's a file. You can store such information using the file. Okay? So file system is more general and popular way to manage the data. Then why do you need to use such a slower and expensive? We can speed up the database system. So DBMS provides such a functionality to speed up, to access the data, such as indexing. So that is the second part. Second part, indexing. No, it's another project that I did the last semester. So indexing, using index, you can speed up to access the data. Or you can use cache, memory management. That is another way. So anyway, that is the DBMS functionality. So this is our goal. Anyway, after project 8 or after the first of the semester, for example, we'd like to have such a database. Okay? So this is the database for university project. Okay? That has something organized. Information, for example, course has the defined as course name, course number, credit hour, department, and we have this data, which is called the instance. Okay? This is our goal of the database design. And there are several important characteristics in the database. So next class, so we will talk about such a characteristic of the database approach, as well as the ER modeling. Okay. Any questions? Okay, so as I suggest to you, so why don't you find your team member and discuss about what kind of the project topic you are going to perform throughout the semester. Then once you find your team member as well as you find out decide the project topic, email to the GA, then she will approve. She will mostly give the team number, okay? Then she can manage the team. Okay. Any other? Video is not for your additional material, it's for future use, okay? But I will discuss with the Qasim. Qasim is the
in charge.
He's managing the whole data, right?
Yeah.
So I will discuss with the department whether they can be available for current students. But anyway, primarily I'm thinking for video taping for future use. Any other question? Okay, thanks so much. We will see on Thursday.
This is your website.